Dad's punishment for my phone in class hit different. 15 years later, I did the same to my son. I was 12 when my dad got a call from my school. I had been caught with a phone in class and was immediately suspended. I was terrified of what my dad would do. He was a strict, no-nonsense guy who worked long hours to provide for us. I knew he would be furious. When he got home, he didn't say a word. He just looked at me with disappointment. I felt like I had let him down. The next day, he took me to work with him. He was a construction worker, and I spent the whole day carrying heavy materials and doing hard labor. It was exhausting, and I realized how tough his job was. At the end of the day, he handed me $100 and said, "This is what I make in a day. You just cost me a day's work." I felt horrible. I didn't want the money. I wanted to make it up to him. I promised I would never do anything like that again. Fast forward 15 years, and I was working in a corporate job. I got a call from my son's school. He had been caught with a phone in class and was suspended. I was furious. I went home ready to punish him. But then I remembered what my dad had done. Instead of yelling, I took him to work with me the next day. I showed him how hard I worked and how much I made in a day. At the end of the day, I handed him $200 and said, "This is what I make in a day. You just cost me a day's work." He looked at me with tears in his eyes and said, "Dad, I'm sorry. I won't do it again." I realized then that my dad had taught me a valuable lesson. It wasn't about the money. It was about understanding the value of hard work and the consequences of our actions.